On the morning of April 10th, 2001, I remember waking up in the morning, about 6, my normal time. Didn't really feel very good, didn't feel like I was up to going to school that morning, so I thought I might, sleep in until about third period, which started around 11. So I set my alarm clock for 11 o'clock, and next thing I remember is waking up in the Juvenile Detention Center in Ephrata, Washington. What went through my mind when I first realized where I was, where am I at? What am I doing here? What happened today? What went wrong? They asked me if I knew why I was there, and I had no idea. I asked them what had happened, and they told me that I had taken a gun to my third period class and held them hostage for a number of minutes.
What bothers me about this whole thing is that now we know that Corey was hallucinating on Paxil just a month after he went on them. Corey is afraid to tell us about the hallucinations and the bad dreams because he thought he was going crazy. This is a Mormon boy who had never smoked or drank, never used illegal drugs, didn't know what a hallucination was from Adam.
The first drug was Ritalin, and that was really, really bad. Because they told my mom that I had ADHD. They started focusing on me and, forgot about everybody else, and they just looked at me and focused on me. And it makes you feel like you're really, really tired, you don't want to eat.
Between 1995 and 2000, the number of prescriptions of psychotropic drugs of all kinds for kids more than doubled.
The problem with being a child in America today compared to 20 or 30 years ago is that if you are different, if you are agitated, if you are extremely active, you will fall under the gaze of the helping professions, the so-called helping professions.
I don't remember anyone I went to school with being on a mind-altering medication. But now, the number of children on drugs in this country is astronomical.
Jefferson County 911. Yes, I'm a teacher at Columbine High School. There is a student here with a gun.
Eric Harris was taking the antidepressant Luvox for a full year while he developed all his bizarre and violent fantasies.
And the school is in a panic, and I'm in the library. I've got students down under the tables, kids. Heads under the table.
I believe that Eric Harris was literally driven crazy, as so many other children have been, while taking this antidepressant drug.
I think the pharmaceutical companies realized a while ago that there were huge profits to be made on playing on parents' fears and also playing on a generation of parents that was looking for the convenient way to raise their children.
ADHD is a means of making paying patients out of normal individuals, and once they are given a prescription and put on medications that are virtually never discontinued, they have lifetime paying patients. That's what's behind the epidemic.
Medication is an answer that can be helpful to some people some of the time.
There needs to be a balance between the interaction of biological treatments and psychological treatments.
I didn't have Brian diagnosed with ADHD until he was in the 5th grade. And that led, of course, to prescriptions. And when those prescriptions didn't work, that led to more prescriptions. And the more prescriptions he got, the more frustrated that we all got. He couldn't get better. He couldn't help himself. He got angry, and the angrier he got, the more violent he got.
Each morning in the United States, between 6 and 7 million children are given a prescription medication before they can go to school. Many of them are taking Ritalin or other amphetamines.
More and more aspects of human behavior, human distress, just general unhappiness is becoming medicalized. It's being made into diseases. This culture has grown in parallel with the growth of the pharmaceuticals industry and its investment in psychotropic drugs, that is, drugs that affect the psyche, the mind, the brain.
By far the majority of psychiatric prescriptions for children are given for attention deficit disorder, ADD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD.
One of the alarming concerns I have both as a parent and as a physician is that there is much misdiagnosis and overprescription of medication, inappropriate prescription of medication, changing these children's lives forever for the worse.
Why didn't my generation, the baby boomer generation, have this? Why didn't we have thousands of kids committing suicide when I was going to school or you were going to school? Why didn't we have kids walking to schools like this one behind us and shooting up their classmates for no apparent reason?
My son Michael pretty much had a very bad experience in public school, along with my family. He started kindergarten, and I got a lot of phone calls that he was not sitting in his chair. He was not on task, as the teacher said.
As a classroom teacher, you're given a list of 9 categories. If a child demonstrates 6 of these manifestations in these categories, for example, can't sit in his seat, fidgets, jumping out of his chair, doesn't wait his turn, things that are commonly done with youngsters who are energetic. You find 6 out of those 9, and that child can be labeled as ADD, meaning attention deficit, a shortage of, he can't focus his attention.
One of the problems with the diagnosis for ADHD is that it's very subjective. It's basically a list of behaviors.
There's very clearly at least 100 different problems that can look like ADHD. I do believe it exists and it's a genetic disorder, but it's a diagnosis of exclusion. You rule out everything else first before you even consider it, and that's not what we see being done today.
Parenting style is not a cause of ADD and ADHD. There are several causes. One of them we know of is hereditary. For example, if the parents have attention deficit disorder or ADHD or those kinds of symptoms, their children are more likely to experience those symptoms as well. There are also several prenatal causes for ADHD, as well as low birth weight, if the mother was smoking or drinking during her pregnancy, and things like that can also have an impact on causing ADHD. But it's very important for people to understand that parenting style is not a cause of ADD or ADHD. At the same time, parenting style can, with a child who has attentional problems and hyperactive problems, cause greater difficulties, and at the same time can also improve the situation a great deal.
When my little boy was 6 years old, when he first started kindergarten, on his very first day of school, the school kept calling me up at work 10, 20 times saying, "Vincent won't sit still, or we have a problem with your son." And they called me in for a meeting,